right, you'll find people in. Thank you for those of us joining. We'll start in a few minutes.
Who dat?
There we go.
So there's a little bit of a delay.
There's a pretty good delay on what you're seeing up here versus here. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so if you're trying to watch what you're doing up here, it's
exactly.
not gonna work. We're up to 11 and 12. I dropped a couple. Hopefully people can.
I think they're signing in as well.
Yeah, I think I want to give people time to sign in because I don't think you can do the chat function if you're not signed in. So for any of you out there, if you're interested in the chat function to submit questions to Rueben, or we're going to do a couple trivia questions and give away a couple autograph cards. I believe you have to be logged into YouTube. You can either do it through Google account or YouTube account, I believe. I'm not a YouTube master by any means, but that's my understanding. So we'll give people a chance to log into YouTube. We'll probably start the actual signing here in about 2 or 3 minutes, and I'll kind of share a little bit with you here in a second. All right, I think we will go ahead and get started. I'd like to thank you all for joining us this evening. My name is Jeff Elbrecht. I'm behind, so I don't have the pretty face like my son and Rueben here do, so you won't necessarily see me on camera. But I'm the one who interacted with a lot of you as you bought autographed items or asked questions. I remember at WSU seeing Rueben with you, and our goal tonight is to have a good time. Ruben's got some things to sign, but we also want to make this interactive. So we'll have a chance for you to submit some questions. We're going to give away a couple prizes, as I mentioned, 92 Apple Cup, or rewatch Super Bowl 44. So without any live sports on TV, we thought this was kind of a nice addition to do something on a Friday evening when you don't have live sports to watch. So a couple other things. We are raising money for the Pullman Regional Hospital. For those of you who aren't familiar with Pullman, Cougar fans probably are, Saints fans you might not be. Pullman is a fairly small community, so it's a 25-bed hospital. While we haven't had necessarily COVID patients in the hospital has really taken a large financial hit because of the limited amount of procedures that we can do that weren't allowed during self-isolation, those types of things. So it actually, it's about a $10 million loss of revenue to the hospital that we've experienced with the COVID. I myself serve on the Hospital Board of Commissioners, and Rueben is in charge of our foundation. So that's kind of how we put this together. We thought it was a good chance to raise a little bit of money for the hospital and have a fun sports evening. So again, we have items for sale. A lot of you have pre-purchased items, which is amazing. We really appreciate that. Some of you sent in some cool items, and we'll show those all as we go. We do still have some items for sale. You see some mini helmets. I think I've got one white Cougar one left, got a few gray Cougar ones, and one Saints one left. If anybody's interested in those are $60, and that includes the cost of the helmet, the cost of the autograph, and shipping it to you. They're a little hard to see here, but we got some Saints and Cougar photographs. Those are $30 each. Got Saints and Cougar footballs. I think I got 2 Saints, and I think I got 1 Cougar one left. Those are $60 each. The photos are $30 each. And we got an array of cards that are $25 each. And then back behind us, we actually got a couple full-size helmets. We have a Saints full-size helmet and a Cougar Gray full-size helmet back there. I think I got 2 of each of those left. Those are $160 each. So if you're interested in either one of those, what you can do is you can shoot me a message on the chat. I'll also put this information up periodically. And if you're interested in buying anything, again, all the money that from the autograph signing goes to the hospital. The Bayou Bullet poster is mine. That is not for sale. It took me a long time to find one of those.
I have an extra one.
So we might be able to work out something.
Yeah, we can work something out.
But yes, I love that poster. I've loved that poster my whole life. I remember it when I was a little kid, I think, going to the store and seeing him in the big poster rack. And I didn't buy one then, and I finally tracked one down. So yes, the Bayou Bullet poster is quite sweet. The poster on the other side, the one that says Rueben Mays across the top, anyone who bought an autograph, we will, at the end, we will give that away. And what we do is we'll draw, Nate, my son here, will be drawing a name out of a hat, and Rueben will sign that for you, and we will send that to you. So that'll be a prize for anyone that bought an autograph. So if you're still interested in buying an autograph, not only would you get the autograph, we'll get you in the drawing. That's going to happen at the end. Again, submit questions. We'll try to get to your questions. I'll kind of ask Rueben. We'll kind of do some signing, talking. He'll tell some stories, answer some questions, those types of things as we go along. So that's kind of a rundown of what the evening is going to look like. Again, I'll kind of be moderating. This is our first YouTube Live. I got my 2 sons here helping me. Nathan is off to Ruben's left, and Tyler, you want to poke your head in there, Tyler, real quick? Out tonight and kind of helping organize stuff. I'm sure most of you know his extremely prestigious career that he had both in college. So he was an All-American running back played for the Washington State Cougars from 1982 to 1985 for head coach Jim Walden. He was born in North Battleford, Saskatchewan. So kind of was a little bit under the radar because of being from a small town in Canada, and was kind of lucky enough. I think that helped the Cougs out a little bit in the recruiting process, and maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that later. He was All-American at WSU, Pac-10 All-Conference, and was actually Pac-10 Player of the Year in 1984 and 85. He finished 10th in the Heisman Trophy as a junior, rushed for what was then a record for WSU of 1,637 yards. He also had 357 yards in one game rushing. He is one of only 2 Cougs to rush for 1,000 yards in 2 different seasons, and went on at that time to finish in top 10 in rushing with 3,519 yards and 23 touchdowns at Washington State. He was then drafted in the 3rd round by the New Orleans Saints, played 7 years in the NFL, primarily with the Saints, and a short little stint with the Seahawks at the end. He was selected as Rookie of the Year in 1986, went to the Pro Bowl in 1986 and 1987. He also is a recipient of the Harry Jerome Award, which is given each year to Black leaders in Canada, recognized for their contributions to athletic, community service, academics, and creative arts. He's inducted into the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame in 2004, the College Football Hall of Fame in 2008, and the WSU Athletics Hall of Fame in 2009. He has served as Chief Development Officer for Regional Hospital since 2013. So very prestigious. I was fairly familiar. I remember watching Rueben as a kid, and I kind of went back and relooked at some of his stats. And when he left WCU, he was the single game rusher of all of NCAA. It's been broken a couple times since then. He actually still sits second all time in Pac-10/12. So when you think about all the great running backs that play in the Pac-12, those USC running backs, O.J. Simpson, Marcus Allen, they got nothing on this guy here. So that is pretty impressive stuff. And Rookie of the Year and two-time Pro Bowler in 86 and 87. And you think about some of the great running backs that were playing in the mid-'80s. I mean, that was the time when Walter Payton was still playing. And
Absolutely, yes.
So, and his rookie rushing, for there's any of you youngins like back in the NFL right now, did not have as many yards as Rueben Mays did. So that'll give it. So I do want to give a couple quick questions, and we'll start signing and dive in. So first question is from Jake, and basically he asked, what is the most fun you ever had in a college game? So which game and what's the most fun you had in that game?
That was in 1985 against Stanford. Stanford game because we were way behind at first half and the coaches wouldn't talk to us. And we came back. This is probably the Oregon game. And we came back and beat Stanford. And it was the biggest comeback in NCAA history at the time. And we had a great time after that because it was sunny in California. We'd come back, and it was a great time with Mike Dreyer, who was my offensive guard. And that was a lot of fun, actually, to come back like that and beat Stanford.
Okay, and we'll do one more question, and we'll start a few
Yes.
signings. Let's see, what's the hardest hit you took in the NFL? So maybe who it was, who gave you the hardest lick in the NFL?
Well, and who asked the question?
Sorry,
the killer. The killer's 66. Well, the killer Z66, the hardest hit I had a couple pretty hard hits. Rathman. Yes, Rathman, he was a fullback for the 49ers. And I got hit of the week in Sports Illustrated because I was on kickoff return.
Special teams.
And Rathman was a fullback, and he would loop around, and he was a guy to kind of sneak in there and hit you from the side. And the blocker on the right-hand side missed his block, and he just cold-cocked me, and that was a pretty hard hit. And Leonard Smith against the Cardinals, that was a pretty serious. He was a strong safety, and I remember coming through and ending up on the ground, and my contacts were shaking, and I said, "What the heck was that?" And that was Leonard Smith, and he was a kind of a headhunter back then. So,
I grew up in Nebraska. I remember watching Tom Rathman when he was in college, and I remember he bent a couple face masks in college.
Yeah.
So I believe you when you say
exactly.
he hit with some force.
Right, for sure.
So, Ty, why don't you get Rueben started on a few cards, and just kind of pick a few random ones. We'll get started there. Again, I want to let you know, again, we have the items for sale. Pretty much everything's for sale. There's a few items we're a little short on. Again, shoot a message on the board here. You can also PayPal if you want on those items. My plan is to get everything sent out on Monday. Kids and I are going to kind of package stuff up this weekend, and the plan is to start getting stuff sent out on Monday. So we'll work on getting those out over the weekend and getting everything ready.
So someone asked about the Bayou Bullet. So I do have a few extra at my home.
Okay.
So if someone wants to purchase that today, we can make a deal.
All right. So let's see.
All the proceeds go to Pullman Regional Hospital. John Hurley.
John Hurley, I got your name down. We can work out a deal. Ty, did you see John has a message on there that he wants to, I think, ask. I think he's the one who had the full-size helmet, maybe. Does that look right? It should be one of those two boxes there.
Yeah, we got it right here.
No. Is that John's right here? Will you add on there that he wants College Football Hall of Fame?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll do our best to get whatever people want. Again, we want to have a fun time and do that. So So how did you talked about the Bayou Bowl poster. How'd you get the nickname the Bayou Bowl? And I think it's sort of self-explanatory, but.
Absolutely. So Greg Porter, my agent / accountant, who still is my accountant, got contacted by the Kostakos brothers, and they were doing posters of all kind of the elite football players out of Seattle, and they wanted to do a poster of me. So they were brainstorming and thinking about what they should do in terms of a promotion. And so I go to the studio, and I walk in, and they told me to wear some sweats, and they had a 357 Magnum in a vise. And 357 Magnum, as you can see on the poster to my left or to my right here. And that's how that all happened. That's how I got the name Bayou Bullet. Good question. Sure.
So we're signing a few extra items because I want to make sure if somebody misses out, they contact me tomorrow and say, hey, I really want, autograph picture of Rueben. We'll make sure to hook them up. And then we're going to dive into the other items here in just a sec. Some of you submitted some really, really cool items, A's fans and Cougars fans and just general fans and across the board. So we really appreciate that.